Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing, it's precision crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go, 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 go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Today's edition of Talking Real Money is just a dream. It is merely a dream. It is a figment of your imagination because, as we all know, according to the Wall Street Journal, the world ended yesterday.
That's official? So we're like the only two people that made it? No, because what about
stock market?
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what about
plummeted
Justin?
off a cliff yesterday, and that must mean the economy died, and that's the end of the world as we know it.
We had a lot of people that called us the last couple of hours about money things. So, wow.
Oh, maybe it wasn't. I thought those were part of my dream. Those were real calls at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Segue.
Was I supposed to say something there?
No, I'm just saying that the phone number was a segue to the phone number.
So no, we take calls. So we had calls the last couple hours on everything from what to do in your Roth IRA to I'm going to retire early. How should my portfolio look? To I'm 35. I'm just getting started. To the other end of the spectrum, I'm 77 and I own an annuity. And you guys are always saying bad things about annuities and how to invest at Vanguard. So
I pay someone to write up notes on the podcast every week, and apparently
love it.
You keep notes.
I do.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I keep no notes.
Should I email
once
them
I've
to you or
done
something?
once I'm done with something, I'm on to something else.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're very good at that.
I don't care about those old things. I want to talk about the new. So tell us, what's new with you? What kind of help do you need with your money? How can we help you become a better investor? All you have to do is give us a call at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. It's absolutely free and it's easy.
We have a caller, and I'm not sure.
We do?
I'm not sure if I have the name right.
I don't know because I don't see it on my screen.
Oh,
so.
Pardon me. I sent it to you. Okay. Oh, it's still sent. It says delivered, but it's not really. Apple is so mysterious.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Lowaga?
I don't. I hope I have that right.
Luanga. Yes, that's me.
Luanga.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for joining us. How can we help you?
Well, I hope you can help me because I've listened to you a few times on the radio, but you talk so fast. They told me to call after the show, so I called after the show so that I can talk to one of you guys. I have a little money that I want to put in a savings account. But these days, everywhere I try to find a savings account in the bank, they don't give interest. It's either 0 point something or it's too little.
Okay. So we're going to talk more slowly. So thank you for that feedback, which I appreciate.
Thank you.
So
I can't slow down.
Yeah,
That's
you
my
can.
problem.
The purpose
Okay.
of this money is what? What is the purpose of the money that you want to put into a savings account?
To use it when I need it, because if I put it in a money market, it takes too long and I can't get to it very quickly. But if I put in a savings account that gives a bit of interest, I can get to that money when I need it.
I'm gonna go slow, but I'm going to argue with you a little bit because there are certainly places. I'll give you an example.
Yes.
If, for example, you went to Vanguard and you opened an account in your name, and then you put it in the money market, you could hook up your account at Vanguard directly to your bank account, so that if you woke up one day and you said, I need money by tomorrow, you could move it over. I don't know that you can do it any faster out of a savings account, frankly.
Well, that sounds good.
Now, I have a question, though, for you, Luanga. How much risk, how much money is this?
I would start with about 5,000 and then keep adding on as time goes on and as I see how the system is working for me.
And Can you accept any change in that value, slightly higher or lower? Lower. You could always accept higher, but lower.
No problem there.
Lower, yes.
Are you okay if it fluctuates a little bit?
Yes.
Then, Tom, your solution is actually a good one.
Okay,
For the
so
first time in the history of the show.
finally, my moment has arrived. So
Give him the fund.
Okay, so here's the fund that I use for my short-term money needs.
Yes.
It's a mutual fund that's operated by Vanguard.
Yes.
It is the Vanguard.
Yes.
I'm drawing a blank now. It's operated by Vanguard.
I give you an opportunity to be right, and you can't even remember the name.
It's it is the Vanguard.
Vanguard short term.
Short term.
Yeah.
Corporate.
Corporate.
Yeah, corporate.
Yes.
Bond index.
Vanguard.
VS.
We're going to give you the ticker. Hang on here. We'll go slow.
VSB. VST.
VST. Victory Sam Tom. VST.
BX.
T.
It is too. Then you must have wanted the short-term investment grade corporate.
That's the one. Yes. Okay.
Oh, well, see, you gave me a different name. Hold on. He gave you the wrong one. Short term. Are we both typing it in?
Yes, we are. Because I feel
Short-term investment
horrible.
grade bond fund I is VFSIX.
No. Okay. He's only got 5,000, so he won't get the Admiral shares. Okay. Here we go.
VFSTX.
That's it. Okay. We're going to go slow. You ready? This is correct. V as in victory.
Yes.
F as in Frank.
Yes.
S as in Sam.
Yes.
T as in Tom.
Yes.
X as in X-ray.
Yes.
VFSTX. You simply open an account at Vanguard. You move the money into that bond fund, and you hook it up directly to your bank account. There's no sales charge. There's the expense is only the expense of the fund. And you should make a little bit more than a money market.
The 30-day SEC yield on that is 2.82%.
Yeah.
That would be very good for me.
But it can fluctuate in value slightly. And just to be totally transparent, it has of late fluctuated a little bit. Year to date, it is down 0.5% for the year, for the first quarter.
But I can keep adding on as time goes on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, and as interest rates rise, they will buy new bonds and keep passing the rate increases along to you. So it's a very good place to keep reasonably short-term money as long as you understand there is a degree of volatility. It's very low.
That was too fast. There's a degree of things going up and things going down.
Thank you, Luonga.
Thank you, guys. I wish I listen to you off and on, but you are very interesting and you seem to give very good information. But when I've grown old and I don't hear very well, but I try to keep up with what's going on.
And if you have a computer or a phone, a smartphone or a tablet, go and listen to Money 30. That's my podcast. And I actually deliver that far slower than I do a lot of my other stuff.
That's true. Well, you don't have me chasing you around. It's quicker. You can go more slowly.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
I can ignore Tom because he's not there.
All right. So thank you for your call.
Check it out.
This is an interesting quandary for people who are savers that don't really want to take much risk with their money and still make something. I mean, it's been worse the last 5 years, right? It's slowly, as interest rates have gone up a little bit, you can make a little on your money. But remember, Things cost more now than, inflation has gone up.
And
Right?
here's the thing that I really get annoyed by people. There was an article, I think it was at Market Watch last week, about how interest rates were going to rise, and somebody commented, "Oh, great, they're finally going to give us our 5% rates back." And are you entitled to a rate on your money? 2, when rates on savings were at 5%,
guess what?
inflation was at 7.
Yeah.
Or 8.
There's somebody
or
making
10.
money. And I think we mentioned this on the program. I'm going to start talking fast again. I think we mentioned this on a recent program. There are $325 billion.
I didn't know you could adjust your speed that
I can
quickly.
do that. $325 billion.
You're like an electric car. You're like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
And there are $325 billion sitting in savings in banks and all kinds of places. I hate to break the news to you. Those institutions absolutely love you. They adore you. They think you are God because you are giving them money every single day. They are taking your money and they're paying. This is true. They are giving you, and take a look at who has been slow to raise rates, even though interest rates have gone up. Banks, credit, they have been horrendously slow to push rates up. So guess what? They're making even more off you now than they were before. So good. Thank you.
Here's some and this is wonderful irony. The highest rate on savings right now.
This is just a savings account.
Savings account,
Yeah.
liquid daily,
Okay, right.
at a bank,
Yeah.
at an FDIC insured bank.
You can go to bankrate.com and look this up, right?
I did.
Okay.
But what's ironic about this is whose bank this is.
I'm going to say it's Ally Bank.
Nope.
Oh,
Do you know who has a bank now? An actual FDIC bank?
I hope it's not Bitcoin or somebody.
Goldman Sachs.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I love it.
Highest rate in the country.
Yeah.
1.5%.
Yeah.
With a $1 minimum.
Oh, okay.
A $1 minimum.
Okay, but you just mentioned the short-term corporate bond fund that's making almost twice that.
Well, that's why I'm saying what's ironic is that Goldman Sachs is saying, we're going to give you a great
Sure.
rate because we're going to make a fortune on it.
Yeah. And
Wow.
what's the highest paying money market rate right now? After this is
money, and you know what's curious is because money markets aren't that much better. The highest yielding money market is 1.77.
This is an argument that you and I have. In fact, I talked to a gentleman yesterday who called in the show about 3 weeks ago and said, I have money I'm going to need in a year to pay taxes. Mm-hmm. And where should it be? And I believe you said to put it in a money market, and I said at least get some upward motion, use bond funds. And he was saying, yeah, he remembered the call that I told him bonds and you told him just put it in the money market. Because as you point out, there's no fluctuation. You're correct. You know it's going to be there every day.
But here's the beauty. Again, bankrate.com is a great resource.
It is.
It's a really, really great resource. Let's say you have X amount of money today and you need it next April 15th, 2019, and you want no risk with that money. Well, if you went to bankrate.com, you would find there is a 1-year CD at Goldman Sachs.
Paying 1.9%?
2.1%.
Okay, pardon me. I just cost you 0.2% over the next year. And
That's 10%.
Do you think Goldman Sachs is doing that just out of the great love and appreciation they have for you?
Of course not.
No,
they're going and putting it into treasuries and arbitraging the heck out of it.
And probably making 1 or more % on top of your. Really? Come on. So, caveat emptor there.
If you want absolutely no risk, then that's what you have to do.
I understand.
Because, again, let's say there was a big interest rate spike and people got freaky. Even a short-term bond fund could take a big psychological dip.
Absolutely.
For a minute.
Yep.
It's psychology, even as we've seen lately. It's psychology over reason for sure. 855-935-TALK is our number. Give us a call.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
All right, let's get this break out of the way really quickly. If you're looking for an investment advisor, you need a fee-only, 100% fiduciary, low-cost, science-based advisor. And that describes Vestory. If you'd like to learn more about us, it's really easy. Go to vestory.com, vestory.com, or give us a call at 800-386-3004, 800-386-3004. There, that wasn't so bad.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Yes, and Retire Meet tickets are really going fast. There are 30 left.
Yeah.
30 left.
You want to come, you got to do it now because it always accelerates as we get closer to the date, and it's a few weeks away. And, the reality is, what is the cost of a ticket now?
$30.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like a lot.
Or if you're a couple, $50.
It sounds like a lot, but remember, that does include breakfast and lunch, and the food is pretty good.
And let me tell you, the lunches we get cost almost all of that.
No. We're doing it different this time. I'm working on the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm about halfway through.
Oh,
200. That takes a long time.
Keeping costs low.
And I'm doing them on wheat bread this year, so it's a little higher.
Costs low.
Yeah,
healthier.
Yeah, healthier.
Healthier.
Some carrots with that. Pretty good stuff.
I'm not going.
Bring your own.
855-935-TALK is our number. 855-935-8255. I'm only in town for a few days, and you're going to serve me peanut butter. I'm kind of disappointed.
I agree.
Corey, you're up next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, Corey. Welcome to the show. How can we help you?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. My husband has always taken care of our finances, and I'm getting to the point where I'd like to understand what he's doing and be able to have a level of comprehension so that we can have a good conversation. What are some resources that I can go through so that I can understand what's going on? I know this sounds really era 1950s, so I kind of feel silly making this phone call.
Not at all.
Okay,
if you went to my house, my wife would say the exact thing. I don't think she has any idea what's being done.
My
with
wife
the money.
used to be a stockbroker, and she still lets me handle all that stuff.
No,
that is not 19. That's
not
just
at all.
reality.
Yeah.
And it's really normal that somebody in the household is not involved. That's way typical. But Corey, let me just check one thing. You're not this isn't a ploy to leave him and get all the money, right? I'm not helping you.
No.
Okay, I'm just
We'd
checking.
have to know that. We'd have to know that ahead of time before we gave you any information.
Yeah, because it's
kind
a
of
secret
guy
society
thing.
of men.
Because it would be different information, right?
Oh, of course.
Right, we'd lie.
We'd send you to some dark web website that, anyway, it's a whole other
Bitcoin. All Bitcoin all the time.
There you go. Wow.
Here's some. Actually, are you like what do you want to know about? Which part of the money thing do you want to know about most? The bill paying part, the investing part?
The investing. He can pay the bills. I'm fine with that. But I want to. I know how much we have invested, and I know where we are in our retirement plan. But I just want to know, when he shows me something, how do I read it? How can I compliment him? How can I encourage him? And I want to know, some of the details.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
And we're just going to do this for you, Corey. We're not doing it for everybody. This is just for Corey. Relax, all of you. Okay, Tom, get her address and send her Financial Physics, the book.
I've got her phone number. I'll call her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll send you Financial Physics, which is if you've never it's like, I don't understand investing at all. Financial Physics is the perfect book.
Yeah, it is,
because it was created for people who don't understand investing at all, and it's a 2-hour read.
Yeah, they don't want to They don't want to be trading stocks or Bitcoin on Monday. They want to know enough, as you said, to kind of be able to look over somebody's shoulder and understand it.
Because it's probably the right first step. After that, there are more sophisticated books that'll take you more, give you more depth and information on it. The other thing you might do, and you might do this with your husband, and again, this is not a pit. We make no money on Retire Meet. We really don't. I wasn't kidding. We don't make money on Retire Meet. We have to charge because it would not be fair to our clients to make them pay for it. So we try to make everybody pay for their share. But you and your husband should probably come, because I guarantee you'll walk out, both of you will walk out with knowledge you did not have that will better enable you to build a portfolio, to create an income stream, to protect your assets from things that could happen down the road. Everybody eventually is going to retire.
And
so it's not a thing for old people.
Corey's in the South End, so we'll be back in Tacoma on September 15th.
Yeah. If you're on the South Side, you should come. We're going to do one in Tacoma in September.
We'll put a little note in with the book. So we'll call you next week. We'll get your address. We'll send you a free copy of Don McDonald's book on his farewell show here on KVI.
Oh, gosh, he's so mean to me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for listening.
You're very welcome. Hey, and do me a favor, Tom. Throw some back issues of Real Investing Journal into.
Okay, all right.
They're there anyway.
Well, we're saving those for when you're gone. We might need them to send out later. So thank you.
Right.
Great call, Corey. Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
But this is always a question that comes up.
Corey's so much nicer than you.
Well, that goes without saying. This comes up a lot. Kind of, I don't know anything. Where do I start?
Yep.
That's
That's why I wrote Financial Physics.
Yeah, Financial Physics.
That is honestly the reason I wrote that silly book. It is not
okay, but setting that book aside, where could you go online to read a few things that just kind of...
Go listen to Money 30, the podcast.
Okay, but if you want to read something.
Oh, gosh, the resources are so terrible.
Well, okay, but here's one place I think you could...
RealInvestingJournal.com?
That's one, but I think you could also go to PaulMerriman.com. He's got some pretty basic stuff up there that would help you get going. No?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he's got some good basic stuff.
What about Vanguard? Don't they have like a basic primer on, kind of, here's how to get started and here are the things to avoid? I mean, we could trust the advice there generally, even though they do have actively managed funds in addition to the index funds. I worry about
generally. Yeah, okay.
So those
But it's really the resources are few and far between.
That are just designed to help you and not designed to pitch you on something. That's the issue.
Yeah.
And don't have a bias towards something so strongly that they really ignore the truth. We see that quite a bit on the internet as well.
I'm looking at Vanguard's website. I'm really trying to find something that is that entry level
thing. Just getting going.
And wow. Yeah, they have okay, here's a page called How to Invest.
Yeah, that sort of says
how to start investing for beginners, but they have a different allocation strategy.
Yeah,
this is where we're going to get a lot of.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to. It's always the devil's in the details. Again, you're going to start getting into, how much do I put in this type of stock or that, and that's the part that I don't think Corey's particularly interested in. What she really wants to know is, what should I know about the things I'm invested in? That makes sense.
Well, I don't mean this as a plug because, again, it's not a site off which we make any money, but
yes.
I have been doing this, a talk show very much like this one, for 30 years this year.
Why does it sound so painful when you say that?
30 years this year.
Yeah.
30.
Okay. All right.
Here's the point, though, is I've been doing it for 30 years, and I have a library of all these books people send me.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I have, and I've thrown out 90% of them, and I still probably have 100. And I have gone through all of these books and finding one that is really basically basics. Even Paul's book is not basically basics.
No, that's true.
Finding a basically basic book that isn't condescending or just dumb, it says go pick the best mutual funds at Morningstar or something, was impossible. And then I looked at all the magazines, and if you read Money Magazine or Kiplinger's or Business Week or any of those, every single one of them skips over investing.
Well, and here's the problem with the book side. And I have a lot of those books because a lot of the same people came and visited me when I had a television show. They wanted to get exposure. The book side is really aimed at either the retirement market or the trading market. This is because they can sell you a strategy, they can sell you a fund, they can sell you something. And it's not designed for people getting going because they can't make any money off you. That's what we're getting back to about sort of the self-interested aspect of all this.
And that's why I was going back to RealInvestingJournal.com. Because on RealInvestingJournal.com, I have placed, I think it's hundreds of articles that are either from our magazine or that I believe are from
send
Dimensional.
Us to one article that you could go to right now. RealInvestingJournal.com. RealInvestingJournal.com. Give me one basic.
Okay.
Here's where you start.
The most recent one, Own the Whole Planet.
Okay. So
there you go. It's Corey. An article about why you should own the whole planet.
RealInvestingJournal.com. Own the Whole Planet. There you go. There's a start. And we'll send you the book because Well, we got a lot of them, and, frankly, since Don's going to be gone for a long time, demand should be relatively light.
I don't think he ever wants me to come back, apparently.
And we haven't even told, because we're on a different channel now, you're going to be gone for 3 Saturdays, which is great. Don's finally going to take a vacation. He's going to go to New Zealand and Australia?
No, one night in Australia, because we're changing. We're going from Emirates to Delta, so we spend the night there.
Okay.
So, no, not really Australia. New Zealand was the number 1 country on my wife's bucket list.
Wow.
And April 16th is her birthday.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm taking her to New Zealand for her birthday. We're going to spend 4 days in Auckland. Not Oakland. Auckland.
Love their team.
No Raiders.
No.
Although, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't call their rugby team the Raiders.
I'd be okay, by the way, if they move it there, because they probably have a nicer place to play than the Oakland Coliseum anyway.
Everything is better than the Oakland Coliseum.
That's true, sadly.
A high school football field is better than the Oakland. I'm going to look up their rugby team. But anyway, then we're going to spend 12 days in an RV.
Driving about the countryside then.
Driving about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On the wrong side of the road, I might add.
On the wrong side.
I'm glad it's not me. I did that once, and wow, I couldn't do it again.
No, Debbie is so afraid of me doing that.
I would be. No offense, but she'd be right to be afraid.
I'm going to be just fine.
Okay.
I'm going to flip my brain. I am just
send us any live, any FaceTime stuff live while you're driving. I don't want to see it.
That isn't going to happen.
Okay,
no,
good.
One, even though T-Mobile has an international plan, the best speeds I'm going to get out of Vodafone over there with their plan are 512 kilobits per second, which is like...
I look good in 512 kilobits,
that's
actually.
Slow. I may buy a Vodafone chip just to get better speeds. Even though Vodafone owns T-Mobile. 855-935-TALK is our number. Give us a call. This is your life.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
If you're looking for a nice short podcast to tide you over between episodes of Talking Real Money, check out Money 30. Money 30 podcasts are between 2 and 4 minutes long, and they're available at every major podcast service, including Apple Podcasts, or you can visit money30.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
The Auckland professional rugby team is the Auckland Blues.
They might have been better at football than the other Oakland team last year. Who knows?
And the Auckland professional cricket team.
Never miss it.
Oh, the Auckland Aces.
Oh, that's a good
The
one.
Aces.
I like that.
Yes, there you have it. Those are professional sports in New Zealand.
For the life of me, I'm a sportsman, but I could never explain the rules of cricket. I do not get it.
It's baseball turned 90 degrees.
Yeah, I just, no. I don't know that one. I don't know polo. Don't call me and ask me.
I can make the sound.
Yeah, you can. That's pretty good. Wow.
That's all.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we're playing a little game of cricket. Oh, there's a knacker. I don't even know if I made that word up. Is there such a thing as a knacker?
I did, but it sounded right.
Oh, look, I scored a knacker.
I know if I go see one of those, I'm going to be knackered. That's for sure. So.
Oh, no. A knacker is someone who disposes of dead animals. So,
do you score extra for that, or is that
that's when you hit it up into the tree and you kill a squirrel? Oh, look, a knacker!
Send the knacker over there to clean things up.
We're knackered. That means being tired out, and after 2.5 hours with you on the radio, I think I'm a bit knackered.
It gets a bit silly. I agree.
855-935-TALK is our phone number. Come on by. Don, you're next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Good morning, or actually good afternoon. So my question is on income stream prepaying taxes.
Okay. What's the question?
So my question is on income stream prepaying taxes. I figured out that I had to pay a penalty this year. So I'm kind of in line on what I need to do this year, but my question is, if I were to unload a position at the end of the year, and that position was going to be more than 6 figures, would I get penalized for that?
So you're on the capital gains, in other words?
Yes. Yes, on long.
So if you did not make an estimated tax payment on a capital gain you had in a year, is that what you're saying?
No, if I unload a stock that
Yep.
I've had for quite a few years in December,
Yep.
and my profit on that's going to be over 120,000.
I got it.
Will the IRS penalize me for that?
I don't know, but I'd say no, but I don't know.
If you have had a penalty previously, you underreported previously.
That's when it gets tricky. Yeah,
but
the penalty wasn't that. The penalty wasn't that much this year. It was only like about $12 because it was.
But are you required? Are you required to file quarterly estimateds for the next year?
Well, yes, because I'm going to have over $1,000.
Then here's what you do. You make sure you do your quarterly estimateds exactly as the IRS requires. We are not accountants, we are not tax attorneys, but my understanding is if you make your quarterlies exactly as you were supposed to, and you have an unanticipated gain, and you, prior to April 15th, pay all the taxes due on that gain, you should not, from what I understand, have a penalty. I am hedging because tax law is not my strongest suit.
He's crossing he's doing a cross right now. I hope he's praying in some way that he's right.
But I think I'm right.
I think you're right too.
See?
So when I unload a stock in December of this year, and I'm going to have that big over six figures of profit over the last 15 years that I've owned the stock. They shouldn't assess me a penalty for that, right?
Don't believe so. But my question, why wouldn't you do some of it in tax year 2018 and some in tax year 2019?
Like unload maybe half now.
That would be my take.
I would not unload it all in 1 year. I would do part if you need it toward the end of the year or the beginning of next year.
Okay.
Sell half in December and sell half in early January. You could even do it January 1st, as long as that's a trading day.
Well, it wouldn't be a trading day.
Saying.
Right, January 2nd.
Second. Yeah.
But I'd do some this year and some next year. You could do it close, as Don said, you could do it over basically a week. So if it's a matter of cash flow, you're going to get the money pretty quickly, but the taxation would not come for another full year, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what the year looks like. Sell on the 28th
of December 2018.
And then buy back in on the 2nd. Or sell again on the 2nd, I should say. Sell again on the 2nd.
2 sales in 5 days. That's fine.
All right. Sounds good. I'll look into that portion of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for the call. Well, actually, you want to sell a few days. You got to have your settlement date in there. So it would be... You probably sell the week before Christmas.
Yeah, well, that one
doesn't
doesn't really matter anyway because you're doing that sale in 2017 anyway. You could do that anytime.
2018.
2019. And then 2019. So that doesn't really matter. It's the one you need to wait a few days because you want to have it in the next tax year. Makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
You bowl. It's called, it's not knackering.
We're back to this now?
I clean bowl.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Let's see.
If I see any videos up on Talking Real Money or Real Investing Journal
about cricket,
about anybody knackered or bowling or whatever those other silly terms, that's going to be it, man. You can
bowling
just stay
is the
right
act
there.
of delivering the cricket ball to the batsman.
I did know, actually.
I'm just trying to learn all about
what
this.
If the batsman is knackered? Can they hit it as well or not?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but they have a thing called an eagle eye. I don't know what that is. Finger spin, a first-class cricket. Oh, that's the senior version of the game. First-class cricket. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. I wonder if cricket's in season in New Zealand. I have never in my life seen...
Because
I've never in my life seen a cricket match.
Because you're getting into the fall months now, right?
Well, it may be the playoffs for cricket. Wow. Could be like the World Series. No! The cricket season runs from April 1st. Oh, no, that's in England. Cricket season New Zealand. I have to look that up. You can talk if you want. You say I always talk too much, and then I look something up and...
Well, I do want to talk about money anymore, or are we just moving to
No,
sports
we've
radio
got some
now?
other things. Actually, you know what I want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about? This is your last
I want
shot.
to talk about
so
retirement.
go.
We were talking about retirement, you and I, this week,
Yes.
about when we were thinking
Yeah.
about retiring. And this is one of those things I struggle with. When should I retire? When should anyone retire?
But there's
How
a
do you
great
determine
Yeah.
when to retire?
There's a great piece in the Seattle Times today that talks about this because it's not, it turns out, all about the money, right? For many people it is, because we had a call a couple hours ago from somebody who's going to retire, I think he said at 58. I could not do that. I know myself well enough to know. When we went on this brief, like 1.5 day trip this last week, I'm horrible at this.
Your Buffalo vacation?
I
didn't even know there were buffalo in the Seattle area.
And, I mean, these things are slobbering all over my car. It's a bizarre experience, but the article was good because it talked about people who quit because they had a retirement date circled. All I got to do is make it to this day, right? And then they quit, and then they were home for a while. And a lot of them did kind of what people do. They went on a vacation. They tried to take up some other interest, but they found they didn't have a purpose in life. They were unfulfilled, and they went back to work. That, for me, I think I'm going to have to do something. They unretired.
I understand retirement in the early 20th century. For those, your life expectancy was 60, 65 years old. You worked hard generally at a blue-collar job. White collar jobs were few and far between. They were either blue-collar or no-collar jobs, or sunburn redneck jobs.
You know the no-collar look. You got that down.
I do. And you really wore your body out.
I wear a collar, and it's my off day. So
you wore your body out.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, guys like us, we just sit around and gab.
I know. So, I mean,
my lips are getting tired, though.
Flapping. Here's my current, and we've discussed this. I think for many people, it's winding down. It's a downward slope. It's not today I work and tomorrow I don't work anymore. For most people. My wife wants to work at I think it's Lowe's or Home Depot.
What?
Yeah, she loves
Now that's
the idea.
an aspiration.
No, I mean, she thinks it'd be fun to be in there and running around and telling people it's here or there or whatever. I mean, that would not be interesting to me. If I had my perfect retirement job, it would be running one of the sports arenas. I would love that. Because you're around soccer and the young people and energy of all that. You organize the referees. That, to me, would be a great retirement job.
Well, I live in Florida, and I cannot tell you the number of people who retire down here, and then their dream is to just go work part-time at Disney.
Oh, so, yeah, that would be I imagine that would be a fun job, too. It's a lot of action.
A lot of seniors over at Disney.
Yeah.
They do it primarily so they can get a pass. They get an employee pass to get into the parks for free, but they love what they're doing.
Yeah. Energy to the whole thing.
I know a couple who work the dining room at Chick-fil-A, and they're in their 70s.
They think it's fun.
They
it's a social
like the
aspect
interaction.
With the customer and with the fellow employees. There's an aspect of that makes it. Of course, now you live and work in one small room in Florida anyway, so there's no social aspect for you.
None whatsoever.
I mean, I'm looking at the door right now. I don't think you can even open it. Can you?
This is it for me.
I feel bad if this is it for you.
If you don't call me, I don't talk to anyone. 855-935-TALK. 855
Come on.
935-8255. And just an update on cricket. The New Zealand,
yes, yeah.
The New Zealand cricket season.
Now
ended.
That means we'll have a link to this in our podcast. I'm glad to know.
Yeah, our new podcast guy.
So good at
He's going to have the New Zealand national cricket team. Mm-hmm. The cricket playoffs are done, and
the champion has been crowned.
Apparently, I think it's the Aces. I can't really tell because I don't understand it.
It's not English now.
It starts before Christmas and it ends in March, and apparently
season.
That's because it's summer there then.
It'll be summer over the holidays. Yeah, it's the opposite of now. As I said, they're heading into the late fall, early winter season.
Oh, start date 7th of October.
Okay. Oh, so then decent season.
Then they take a holiday break from 20th of December to the 6th of January, and then they're back on the road playing. They're out there bowling
for
and
dollars.
scoring those Hawkeyes.
Okay.
That's where you get the knacker.
Yeah.
When you score a Hawkeye.
Exactly.
If
Everybody
you can kill
knows
a
that.
hawk, if you can kill a hawk in a tree with a cricket ball, you get knackered.
You should. I'd be knackered a lot if I could do that. That would be. Wow. Okay. Glad we got that figured
All right,
out.
we got some other stuff to talk about, but we have to take a break, and I don't want to get into it yet.
What is it? What are we
But
going to
we
talk
will.
about? This is your
You sent
chance
me
to
the list.
This is your chance to promote something. Promote ahead.
Oh, I could
This is
promote
where the host
retire
helps.
me.
No,
Come to
not that
retire
kind.
me.
Like what's
Oh, not
coming
that.
up on the show. That kind of thing.
I've never been very good at that.
For crying out loud.
Oh, we could talk about the SEC, though. Boy, are they
Okay.
cracking down on
Ooh.
investment advisors.
All right.
Woo! Ha! We'll tell you about that in a minute.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
We mention 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255 throughout the podcast. But you need to know that you can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Leave your question, and those will be answered in special Talking Real Money podcasts that will appear on this particular site in the future. So give us a call, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255 is the number. And they just finished. The tournament was called the Plunkett Shide. The Plunkett Shide.
Get off the Plunkett Schneid. Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
It was the winner of the Plunkett Shide.
Yes.
Was the New Zealand Central Division. The Aces finished in an admirable third. Direct quote.
Well, they weren't the
And
Aces last year.
Get
then.
this: they were. Here's one of the things they're doing a play-by-play, or they're writing about the game,
the match,
and the match. And I'm just going to read you like a paragraph. Ferns was also nimble in the park, deflecting a return shot off his own bowling onto the stumps to dismiss Tom Blundell, who was proving difficult to dislodge. With only a couple of wickets required after the tea break, Delport and then Ferguson returned to finish off the tail and complete the 120-run victory for the Aces.
I was thinking I might mock that sport, but now after that, I'm going to switch over. I'm not watching football again. I'm on to this. This is big.
Tea
Very
break.
big. Tea break.
After the tea break.
Hi.
In America, it's halftime. Over there, it's the tea break. Or the seventh inning
you
stretch.
got so much-
No, pardon me. We have a tea break to take.
You have so much to look
Everyone
forward to.
stop.
All right, you promised
Tea.
a story about the Securities and Exchange Commission.
I want to see a game. I am bummed now. A match. I'm bummed.
There's some other level of. It don't have to go to the championship level.
Oh, yeah, I do.
When I went to Mexico, I was tried to go see a lower level game.
Yeah, okay.
Come on. You don't have to
that
go to the
story's
top
hysterical.
level.
You tried to go see a
The
game that was
hometown
at
bunch.
such a low level.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, Tom was staying in the part of Mexico that's now been shut down
it's
to
weird.
tourists
It's really
because
freaky.
of bombings.
I know.
But apparently, Tom decides to go visit a local soccer team
Yeah,
at
well,
their
that's what I
match.
do.
And
Yeah.
he gets to the game, and they go, "Oh no, sir, you are not allowed to come in. We're having the game, but you're not allowed to come in. Why? What did I do?"
Well, it wasn't just me. They didn't let any spectators in. I tried to get in, as you know, as a referee. I said, "Well, I'm a referee." They looked at me and said, "No, you're not
Yes,
the
but
referee
why
for this
didn't
match."
they let anyone into the
because
game?
the last time these two teams had played, there had been a riot of some kind. Now they had to play the game without without anybody in the stadium.
Okay, so here we have a Mexican lower league soccer game with a riot, and then in New Zealand, check this
And a tea at halftime, pardon me.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm getting the message.
Tea
here.
break.
I'm going to let you say all this. I'm not going to. Who knows what the riot was? I don't know.
I don't know, but
You
it was
don't
a
know
riot.
either.
Soccer games, though, internationally, tend to inspire riots.
I'm not even going to let you go there. That is not true.
Excuse me.
That's
All
not
right.
because what you're saying is a majority of games inspire riot. That is
No,
not true. I have been to games all over the world and never
have
seen
you
a
ever
riot.
heard of a cricket riot?
No, okay, that you didn't give that as a contrast.
Oh, wait, no, hold on. Egypt soccer riot in England.
But that's suggesting that all or most games have a riot. That wouldn't be
I
true.
didn't say this. They
You
just said
said
have a
inspire.
lot.
No, I wouldn't even say that. But okay, fine.
Okay. There is even a website devoted to football hooliganism.
That's old school.
Egyptian riot kills more than 70.
Okay, that's horrible to hear. How long ago was that, by the way?
2012.
Okay. All right.
They've calmed down since then.
No, there
You
have
don't
there
like it
been
when-
riots?
You do not like it
No,
when I
don't.
make fun of soccer.
No, you can make fun of it, but what you're saying is you're taking in all soccer and saying that the riots are prevalent, and I'm going to argue with you there. That would not be
Riots
true.
2018.
Yeah.
Police officer dies in a Bilbao riot.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a Russian. Here's one in 2018, February 2018. A Russian soccer riot. Real Salt Lake had a soccer riot.
No, come on. Real Salt Lake. What was termed a riot there? Somebody
I don't
got
know.
mad or something?
Moroccan footballers join riot in Brussels. This is quite a few riots.
So some of this is definition of a riot, I guess, at one level.
Yeah,
but
I
if
guess
somebody dies, that's horrible. I agree. No
It
one
is.
died at the riot the game that I tried to attend that had been a riot at a previous that I know of. Maybe somebody did, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
At any rate, you're right. It's a lot less likely to happen at a cricket match. I'll give you that.
When they're having tea, there's nothing more civilizing than a good cup of tea.
All right, you promised a story about the Securities
I
Exchange
did.
Commission.
What is one of our pet peeves in the investment advisory business? I would say it's the dual registration advisors.
Yeah, I mean this is where
Yeah.
companies, investment companies, have people that are registered as registered investment advisors, where they have to put the interest of the client first, and they're also registered as a broker dealer, where they can sell you products that may not be in your best interest. Confusing.
So what happens with a lot of these people is that they lure you in with the promise of
The
a
people
fiduciary.
you're talking about, your people you're talking about are the companies.
Yeah, the companies. or the
Everybody
people
holds
who work
themselves
for the
out today.
companies.
Everybody today holds themselves out as a fiduciary. Everybody.
But the funny thing is that only about 10% of investment advisors, registered investment advisors in America, or financial advisors, are always acting as a
That's
fiduciary.
the key word there. Yeah, 100%.
Here's what they've been doing for a long time. They've been luring you in, and then they say, oh, yeah, we've got these great no-load mutual funds that we're going to put you into, these American funds and Oppenheimer funds. And now, bear in mind, American funds and Oppenheimer funds are loaded funds. They have a 5.5%, 5.75% front commission. So how are you getting a, quote, no-load fund with American or Oppenheimer or Putnam?
That's when they slide this thing called the 12B1 fee in?
You got it.
Wow.
They're C shares.
Yeah.
They're Class C shares. And so they collect a fee from you. And in many cases, they also collect from the mutual fund company a commission in the form of this 12B1 fee, or from the 12B1 fee that raises. I looked up the American funds.
It's about
one time,
0.5% a year.
No, it raises their fees
Oh,
about
okay.
0.75% a year
Wow.
over what they are otherwise.
The operating expense. In other words, if you're paying them 0.6%,
right,
which would
Then it
still be
goes up
kind
to
of expensive anyway.
Right,
Then
it goes
you
up
add
to a
that
point
in.
and a quarter. or
Yeah,
a
right.
0.2,
It adds on.
1.2.
And you don't really see it. That's the tricky part.
Well, the SEC has started fining big fines on registered investment advisors who sell 12B1 shares.
Yeah.
Multi-million-dollar fines. And I just learned about this because we don't do that. We would never do this. This is appalling behavior to sell you a 12B1 fund. The SEC has given these funds an opportunity to come clean.
Yeah,
but
they
they
said,
only
"Go ahead
have
and do
until
it." Yeah.
June to do it. So if your advisor, check your statement. If you have Class C shares from who you thought was a fiduciary investment advisor, turn them into the SEC, because guess what's going to happen? Even if they give themselves up to the SEC is going to make them return every penny of those to the client.
That's what I've
You're
loved
gonna
about these
get
fines.
your money back.
That's what I've loved about these fines. They are giving the money back to investors. That almost never happens.
Well, the fine is over and above.
Right.
them.
Right. Correct. But people
So
are
they're
getting
saying
money back.
if you give the money back to the investors and you come clean, we're not going to fine you. But if you don't by June, if we find you, we are going to make you give the money back, and we're going to nail you with a multi-million-dollar fine.
How many people are going to do the right thing?
Oh, I bet none.
What? None.
I bet none. I bet they're going to play what are the odds they're going to catch us
Right.
game.
Yeah.
I really do. Because they enjoyed so much money. I just don't see people turning themselves in.
And this gets back to one of the things that where we talk about this fiduciary standard. It's why would you hire anybody who has a potential conflict of interest? In other words, people come in our office every day and say, not a worry, I'm working with a fiduciary. Well, is it 100% fiduciary? Well, I don't know. Well, tell me where they work. Well, they work at this broker-dealer. No, it doesn't mean they're necessarily.
Not.
They're not 100%. But the question is, why would you put yourself in that position where something bad could happen? Why? I wouldn't.
Because they don't know any better.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't because I want to go to a doctor I know is only putting my interests ahead of the drug companies.
There aren't duly registered doctors.
That's true.
That's the problem. That's why the Labor Department tried to place a fiduciary rule. And why the SEC really needs to create a.
Okay, there's your next prediction. When is that going to happen? In our lifetime?
When
will there be a single standard?
When do we get a new president?
When do we get a single standard for investment advice? What year?
2021.
Wow.
2022.
Okay, that's fast.
2022.
I'm going to hold you to that because remember, the DOL rule that they tried to put in place in 2017?
Yeah.
That came out of legislation in what year?
2009 or
2010.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes a while.
I am counting on the fact that you're in your 60s and you're
barely,
totally forget I ever said that.
Okay. I got to write
Remember
it down
the number,
somewhere.
855-935-TALK. You can call it any time and go to retiremeet.com.
Tom and Don are talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?